That was Shift at Midnight.
Shift
I think
at
there's a lot of
Midnight.
potential there because the
Shift at
scratch
Midnight.
at
Yo, the screenshot this and
I spent the last 3 years developing a 2D roguelike mobile game. That's 3 years coding, designing systems, animating, and so much more. And you know how many people played it? My mum, once. Because apparently the world wasn't desperately waiting for another 2D mobile game filled with microtransactions. So this time I'm starting over with one goal. Make a game people actually want to play. So obviously I have no idea how to make a successful game. So I did what any responsible developer would do and Googled it. How to make a successful game.
Your first game needs to be a horror game.
Make a horror
Develop
game.
a horror game.
If you don't make a horror game, I will tickle your balls.
So it's pretty clear what I need to do, but there's just one small issue. I'm terrified of horror games. Still worth it though. I'll do anything for success.
Anything?
So in order to make a successful game, we'll need to set some goals to make sure it goes right this time. We'll need content creators to play my game. And I'm not talking about any random content creators. I'm talking about the big three of horror games. So goal number 1, Queso. Consistently a top 3 streamer on Twitch, massive, hilarious, huge horror game enthusiast that's really large on Twitch. Number 2, Markiplier. OG of the game, 40 million subs, needs no introduction.
My name is Markiplier.
And number 3, Corey. Averages 10 million views a video, but he's gonna be the hardest because of his extremely inconsistent upload schedule. Let's do this. So I started with a brand new Unity project and naturally named it something humble. For this project, I'm imagining a co-op horror game where you work the night shift at a gas station. Original, I know, but stay with me here. Customers will come in, but some of them will be monsters pretending to be human. Inspired by games like Papers, Please and That's Not My Neighbor, you'll need to check their paperwork, IDs, records, and appearance to figure out who's actually human and who's pretending. If you suspect anything is off with a customer, you're also equipped with a gun and get to blast their head off. After nearly 3 months of grinding on this game, here's what I've got. Customers will walk into the store, grab items off your shelves, and now you've got to restock them through a quick little mini game. Once they're done shopping, they'll come up to the counter, hand over their ID, and you can look them up in the computer database. From there, you can start questioning them. For example, this woman says she's a flight attendant, but according to the database, she's actually a plumber.
Gotcha!
Then you can bag up her remains, throw them in the dumpster, and mop up her blood with this sexy mop. Okay, back to you, Future Bun. Future Bun here. Now that we have a mostly complete demo, it's time to give the game to my friends and see what they think. Douglas, roll the footage.
Wait, how do I ask him stuff?
Wait, what do I do next?
Well, that went terribly. Turns out players had no idea what to do, where to go, or how to question customers.
Is she okay?
So to address this, I added a tutorial character to run you through the process of questioning customers and maintaining your store.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this.
Now that the game is ready, it's time to publish it to the public. The issue is Steam has a price of $100 to put a game on their platform. And I ate water for breakfast this morning. So we'll be starting with Steam's little brother, Itch, a free online platform to upload and play games. But just one problem, we still don't have a name for the game. After a chat with my brother, we landed on the name Shift at Midnight, because you're doing a shift at midnight, and doppelgangers are shape-shifting at midnight. Get it? Anyway, I found a guy on Fiverr to do the thumbnail for the game, and he did an incredible job. Shout out Pedro G on Fiverr, everyone send this guy love. The last thing I needed was a clear call to action for anyone who played the demo, so I added this to the page. If we reach 20,000 Steam wishlists, I'll release multiplayer. See, on Steam, wishlists are the strongest indicator of how a game's going to perform at launch, and 20,000 is a near impossible goal. It'll take at least a couple months to hit, if ever, which will give me time to work on the multiplayer version of the game. And now that that's sorted, we have a game ready to publish on Itch. It's time to upload the game and hit the sack. Now that we have a demo, we can't forget the original mission. How will we reach the big three? See, on Itch,
What
there are
is
thousands
this?
of YouTubers
This
with
like a
less than 100
tutorial of
subs
how to do this?
that play every horror game that comes out. Once we have a bunch of videos from those smaller creators, we can use that as leverage to contact bigger creators. Then bigger, then bigger, then the big three. Flawless plan.
I don't know what's going on, but this is hilarious. And informative.
Dude, get up and check the front page of Itch.
Okay.
Shift at midnight. Anyway, hey, Clyde. Clyde Dawson. All right.
Holy sh**. We're only one day in and we can already tick off goal number 1 of the big three. Maybe hitting these goals is gonna be easier than we thought. Maybe. There's just one problem.
God.
Huge game
Oh my
breaking bugs
God.
are happening. Luckily, when Queso played it, none of these bugs happened.
Chat, y'all gotta wish list this game, dude. That was so good.
But we do need to urgently fix these if we want another one of the big three to play it. So it took us a couple of grueling weeks, but the game is almost entirely bug-free. Except for this guy. This guy's chill. Then something happened that I was not expecting. I was scrolling through TikTok like the fat chud I am, and then I see this video.
Hello, hello. Hey man, some ID look kind of funny, bro. Calm down. We close. Oh my. I'm so sorry about that.
This one clip from Twitch streamer Keem Summer went viral on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts separately, amassing a total of 78 million views on all platforms, which is apparently the entire population of Tanzania.
Cheering fills the streets as the Great Bungwen lands in Tanzania.
I've just been informed that Markiplier has played and uploaded the game.
This is a shift at midnight, and it might just get multiplayer. Aye, buddy. No big deal. Hey, who are you? What in the Oh. That was Shift at Midnight. Wishlist this.
That means another one of the big three have played my game, and we can cross Markiplier off the list. Now all we have left is Corey. The issue is, he's definitely going to be the hardest to get. Uh-oh. You guys remember when I set that 20,000 Steam wishlist goal, expecting it to take months to hit, giving me tons of time to work on the multiplayer demo? Well, this is what the Steam wishlist count looks like today, only a week later. I'm screwed. So back to work I go because people are catching on that I've well surpassed the wishlist goal and are asking where the multiplayer demo is. Now this is my first attempt at a multiplayer game, so let's get this done to the best of our ability.
We do not care.
Oh my god.
That is definitely not right. Nope, that's not right either.
As silly and funny as this is actually pretty informative.
There we go. So it's been a couple of months since I started working on multiplayer, and I'd say it's about ready. Along with getting multiplayer working through Steam peer-to-peer, I've added more customers, more enemies, more weapons, and gambling. Now it's time to publish the multiplayer demo to Steam. So at the start of this video, I said my goal was simple. get the big three to play my game. And while I did get incredibly close, Corey never ended up playing it. But honestly, that's okay, because what happened instead was something I was never expecting. Over the past few weeks, 800,000 unique people played my game. Thousands of creators made videos on it, and the Steam demo is now sitting at 99% overwhelmingly positive. Seeing so many people enjoy something you spent so long building is a pretty surreal feeling. I want to say thank you to all of the people who played the game, all of the streamers, all of the YouTubers, all the players, and everyone who shared it with their friends. It genuinely means a lot. But thanks to the support that this demo has received, I'm now able to work on developing Shift at Midnight full time. There's still a ton of work ahead, but stay tuned for the full release coming in May.
For him. Really good for him. That was great. Yes!
Hi everyone, thank you for watching the Triple I Initiative. I'm Matt from Evil Empire, and with me I have some of the team from Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Here I have Din, art director of the game, and Sandro, lead level designer. And to my right we have the big boss from Konami, Taniguchi-san, producer of Castlevania Belmont's Curse. So Sandro, we're a French studio working with a Japan-based company. What does that look like for development, and do you have any cooler anecdotes that you'd like to share?
Well, obviously, I would say the biggest thing is the time zone difference between France and Japan. It often meant a lot of early meeting for us and late night evenings for our colleague. Unfortunately, they never held a grudge against us, and whenever they came to see us, they brought a lot of snack and goodies, which was like a second Christmas for the team. Speaking about food, they were always super curious to try weirdest and like heaviest French food, which was also crazy. But more seriously, I would say that adjusting the processes of both teams was the biggest thing. We all have our respective background as companies, Evil Empire being an indie and iVox company, and Konami having been here forever and having stronger processes. It meant like learning how to adjust the way we work together, but I think in the end it made the project stronger as a whole.
And Din, why did we choose France and specifically Paris as a setting? Was it really out of national pride, as I joked in the trailer?
No, not at all.
No, okay.
In reality, we wanted it to take place in Venice and working around the theme of the Venice Carnival. After a moment, we thought it will be maybe too caricatural. Maybe we wouldn't do it well. So someone had a great idea to do it in Paris, and it totally makes sense because Paris is a natural theater for a lot of Gothic architecture, which fits great with the Castlevania universe. And to have this opposition between the dark castle of Dracula and the Notre Dame, it's a great theme. But maybe yes, there is also some of national pride in it.
Okay.
So Sandro, Din, from a level design and art perspective, how did you turn Paris into this 2D action-adventure world?
Well, obviously, there was a huge focus on level design, without forgetting the art, of course. But we wanted to build the world in a way that made you feel that you were exploring a city. So it meant taking extra care on the way we created our exterior spaces, leveraging the verticality of the city, like exploring from the middle of the streets to the rooftops, making sure you can explore inside or outside spaces. We wanted the game to feel modern, but also like have the intricateness of the action-adventure genre at the art.
Because Paris is like really a good
that's what's Castlevania.
natural theater for a story like Castlevania to take place, because of the medieval history, because of the architecture, because of all the urban myth. And yeah, we have to adapt to the level design, but it was also the opportunity to make all this Gothic environment bigger than life. Bigger than life, exactly. Thank you. So we get inspired by all that we have, all the history, and just push the button, and make it bigger, more fantastic, more scary, more of a Castlevania-esque.
Yeah,
city.
I think it really matches what Castlevania is about, like this sort of over the top.
The music is
wanted
good
player
too.
To explore a lot of vertical spaces, so it means also exaggerating them.
Yeah,
Being able to go from the bottom of the streets to the rooftops, crafting a lot of inside and exterior space. There is actually a really rich history in Paris with the catacombs, with tons of places that we draw inspiration from and allow us to have this intricate, deep,
She stayed
layered
airborne for
level
quite a
design
while
that are,
there.
like stand out.
A lot of air
Things
combos.
in the 2D action adventure droids, like what we really wanted to focus on to nail the experience.
And Din, what was Motion Twin's role in development?
Without Motion Twin, there won't be any Dead Cells and no DLC Return to Castlevania, and of course, no Belmont's Curse, developed by Evil Empire and Konami. And yeah, Motion Twin was like kind of our big brother. Which is sometimes nice, and sometimes they lock us in the trunk of the car. So they were picky, but they were the one to who we ask a question, crucial question, when we have doubts about direction, gameplay, or art. So they helped us guide our decision through the development of the game.
And Taniguchi-san, can you tell us more about which entries in the Castlevania series had the most influence on Belmont's Curse?
そうですね。一番影響を受けているのは悪
Infinite
魔城
Night.
伝説です。
Come on, say it.
ストーリーがそのようになってるっていうところからもお分かりいただけるのかなと思います。あとは今回の特徴がもう無知っていうところもあって、その当時のいくつかのタイトルの影響も受けてます。最後に、やっぱりその探索型を採用したっていうところもあって、月下の野草曲、シンフォニー・オブ・ザ・ナイト
No, I know.
も強く
Symphony of the Night, come on.
Well, obviously, looking at the game title, we had a lot of inspiration from both Dracula's Curse and Curse of the Darkness for Belmont's Curse story. Gameplay-wise, I would say Super Castlevania 4 for the whip action, but we definitely wanted to make it less wiggly and more modern, make it really impactful for our game experience. And of course, I couldn't avoid talking about Symphony of the Night, like it was such a genre-defining masterpiece. We don't want to compare to it, but it's inspired a lot of the game structure.
Of course.
And Taniguchi-san, how do you feel now you're about to resurrect Castlevania and Dracula himself?
やっと新作をお届けできるっていうことでめちゃくちゃ嬉しいですし、めちゃくちゃ興奮してます。で、それと同じぐらいプレッシャーももうすごい感じてはいるんですけど、プロジェクトを発表させていただいてから皆様の反響がもうすごくて、
Yes.
それを見てますます頑張らなきゃっていう気持ちになりました。でこの気持ちっていうのは僕だけじゃなくてチームのメンバーの方皆さんそうなんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Yeah, resurrecting the Dracula is one of the most important part of the game, and we wanted to put every effort that we could into this crucial moment of the story. People know that it will happen, but we had to find a way to make it unique in our own way, and to still give the player something unexpected. For the resurrecting of the game, it was a great honor, but also a lot of anxiety because we know that it was highly anticipated. Yeah, seeing the first reaction of the reveal, we were very happy to see the real emotion of the people who discovered that Castlevania
Castlevania's
is
back, man.
It was great.
Our last question is, considering the history of Evil Empire with roguelikes, will Castlevania Belmont's Curse be a roguelike? No, it won't.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the show. Stay with us, we've got more to come, and we can't wait to show you more of Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
Fantastic. So good. So happy. Cannot wait.
Hello and welcome to the Dead as Disco preview with none other than Brain Jar Games. We are joined by
Hell
Adam
yes.
Dershowitz, the COO.
And I'm James Karras, the head of development.
Yes. Thank you both so much for being here.
I love Easy Allies.
I learned about this game last year at Gamescom, and I could not get enough. All I wanted to do was find little pockets to come to Dead as Disco to try to beat those bosses, because it is absolutely one of those games where it's like, one more try, one more try, one more try. I could not get enough. So please, for those that don't know what Dead as Disco is, please just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Dead as Disco is basically martial arts meets music video, where every punch
You didn't
and
know who
kick
the
and
Easy Allies
combo
are? Please
seamlessly
check them out.
syncs up to
Please
the
subscribe.
song
Check
that's
out their
playing.
Patreon.
And so it's
They're
like you
amazing.
can
They're
make
fantastic.
your
They're
own
great.
music video. It's like acting out your own movie scene where the music's playing in the background and everything's synced up to it.
Yeah, it's not just a rhythm game. It's a beat 'em up. It's music videos. We really just think about it as what would happen if you had a TikTok dance video, but it's a video game, right? And we can
Yes.
totally recreate that experience.
Yeah, it is crazy how the music and the combat syncs up so well. Obviously, there's a ton of different musical genres that we'll go into in a little bit, but just kind of walk us through how the music and the combat sync up in each of these levels, because it feels like it just like shouldn't happen. I'm like, how am I always on the beat here? How does this work?
Yeah, it's really important to note. As I said before, we're not just a rhythm game. We're a music game, right? So a lot of rhythm games, you're like on the beat, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But we're about the experience, right? Like music videos are a fever dream. You're in one location, then another, crazy things are happening, and we want each one of our idols. So just to give you a little backstory, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the band Dead as Disco, at its height 10 years ago, their drummer and kind of heart and soul, Charlie Disco, dead.
Oh, shit.
No one knows why.
It's always the drummer.
Right? Always the drummer. Always the drummer. Here we are 10 years later. There's a reunion concert festival going on, and Charlie's back. One night only for his revenge, reunion, redemption. You don't know, right? And so the way this all works is Charlie is basically busting into all of his former bandmates' concerts. They're all idols in their own right. They all have their own music genres. They all have their own style. And each one of their levels is like this music video experience, this fever dream experience that culminates in an awesome boss battle, right? And so we design the music first before we even design the level, right?
That's what I was gonna ask about
Because you want
this.
to build it that way. And then we go
Yeah.
back and forth to really tie in the experience.
How is that process working with the musicians and kind of the level and combat designers? Like, what can you tell us more about that kind of collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the most fun parts of the job, actually. So on the music side, we work with our internal team that builds a lot of the songs, but we also work with folks outside of our team that are part of the music industry, real musicians to help us make this song, right? We have someone that actually works in K-pop doing the vocals for a K-pop song. We have a guitarist that's currently touring with Baby Metal that's doing a bunch of guitar stuff for us. So it's really, really cool. And there's a lot of back and forth where we set the song first and we start to feel out the level with it. And then we're playing off of that. We find moments in the music that we want to craft really cool parts of the level to. And then as we do that, it's like, oh, can we, push and pull the music a little bit, heighten this moment, make sure this feels good. And we're able to do that. We have a really, a global team. So we all work together, make that happen. It's a really fun process.
Yeah. Is there ever like issues with the music or the combat where it's like, oh, we can't really like change because it'll change kind of the whole vibe of the song? Like, do you get into issues where it's like, all right, the whole vibe of the level is changing and you kind of have to pivot, or like how much leeway is there with kind of the changing of the music?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think as part of what we're building with the music video is it gives us so much freedom to just make an awesome experience that there's not too many times that we feel blocked in or we can't work with that, right? It's more about like, how do we take this cool moment and then visually reflect that in what's going on in the level. And, to your earlier question, part of the way the combat just works is it uses free flow. So, when Gersh is talking about, it's not just a rhythm game, you have to press the music. You press whenever, and Charlie Disco makes sure to attack on the beat, right? He makes sure to attack to the music. And that allows us a lot of freedom, not only to do really cool, fun stuff in the levels, but just make the player feel like a badass.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you hit on the beat, crazy stuff happens, right? That's when you get the over-the-top finishers, the over-the-top counters, the score goes absolutely wild. We actually have crowds in a lot of the scenes because these are concerts, and they will react to you doing well, right?
Oh, yes. I definitely, because it is so, like, pretty challenging. I was definitely just kind of mashing it out at some points because I started to panic. Those ranged enemies I'm trying to dodge away from. You got enemies with shields. You got enemies coming in and swarming you. So I do like that if you keep your composure, you are rewarded for it in the combat. That's really awesome.
Exactly, but at a base level, everyone should feel awesome playing it. So
Yeah.
you can come in our game, you can mash around and still feel really good.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the greatest things about the tools and the technology we built is this will work with literally any song. And we give players the tool set with My Music to kind of pull any music in their music library right into the game, sync it up, write it up, and then make whatever they want with it.
How does that work with the combat? Because we were talking about, kind of the back and forth with the musicians.
Yeah.
But if somebody is just putting in their own song, how does that work with just the flow of combat and everything? Like, really, any song will work here?
Yeah, you can do anything. And a goal for us was making sure that someone with no musical background can get a song in and play and feel really good about it. So the two things you need, you just put your song in My Music and you specify the beats per minute, which is really easy to find for any song. So once you have that, the game just knows, okay, here's the beats per minute. We're going to line things up. The combat's going to work because we're going to scale the animations and do everything that we need to do under the hood to make that feel good. And then for people that really want to start customizing it, we have what we call the advanced song editor that you can dive into.
Whoa.
You can trim the song. You can change exactly what the beats per minute are at different points. You can put in your own, and it's a tool that we're going to keep building over time. But yeah, you can just drop it in and have it work, or you could start customizing it and doing your own cool things.
Very cool.
Wow, they
Can you
give you a
tell
lot
us
of tools.
about kind of the different idols and kind of the structure of a level culminating with the boss fight.
Yeah, so I think one of the ones that we're interested in showing, so a lot of people have seen Hemlock, right? Punk rocker, skull in a jar, giant mohawk.
Yeah.
But one of the idols that I'm most excited about is Aurora, right? Who's our K-pop idol.
Yes.
Once again, voiced by a former K-pop trainee and musician. And her level is that really fever dream, right? So like she's all about becoming greater and more, right? So her whole level is this kind of galactic journey, right? You start out in this planetarium, you go out into like this new world, you go to the flip side, the dark side, and you end up fighting her literally on like the rings of Jupiter, right?
The rings of
the rings of
planet.
Jupiter. But she is huge, right? And so this music experience is just phenomenal, right? And so when we think about that, we think about what the music is, what the vibe is, what the style of the music is, and what type of experience, right? With Hemlock, you're in a subway, it's kind of neon, it's dark, but he's punk, right? That's just the way that goes. With Aurora, you're in this kind of galactic, over-the-top, glittery, awesome experience. And then with the other idols, we kind of build it to that as well. We have another idol we've talked about, Dex, who's all about the music, right? And getting, the song perfect, correct. And his level is black and white. Why? Cool. Because he is black and white. That's
Mad
his
World
experience.
vibes. Yeah.
That's metal, that's hard rock, right? And so we really do try to bring out like the vibe and the feel of each idol. We want every idol to be like a real musician.
Yeah.
Right?
Do the musicians, or did they get any input on kind of the vibe of the idols, or was that kind of a collaboration?
So we have, and it depends on which idol for the amount of influence there, but absolutely, it's something that we've talked to. In fact, one of the idols that we're not talking about just yet, but is the fourth one that's we're going to talk about soon, had a lot of input from the person that is doing both the lyrics for the song and the voice for the character, which is really cool. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of inspiration we take, and we make sure to talk with what kind of things work for the musicians and feeding that into the idols because they are musicians.
Yeah, and I think we could tease that a little bit, right? The reason why we work with the musicians so much is that's hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. And hip hop is so based on the lyrics and the tempo and the way the artist performs that we have to build the song to the artist, right? We have to make that in order for it to be real, it has to be them, right? And so that's really important. But yeah, little teaser, more to come, right?
Love this. How many songs are we starting here with early access?
A lot. So the last time we did a count, somewhere around 30, maybe more actually. One of the things that's great about the game is it's so easy to make music. Anything we can think about and anything we want, we can get in, right? Yeah. And we can get it in quick, and we can see it, we can play it. And sometimes we just make variations, like Maniac, for example, the first song we licensed.
Such a good song for this game.
For covers, yeah. But we have a punk rock version, we have an 8-bit version, we've got the original version. So like,
an 8-bit
version of Maniac, yeah.
Yeah, 30 songs and then 4 full story levels, and then obviously with my music, then people can just play forever and ever.
Unlimited, yeah.
And one of the great things about the songs is we kind of have this A side, B side experience, right? On the A side of our original soundtrack. It's all the stuff that we've made with real musicians, all these banger covers, fully streamer safe, right? So like one of the biggest problems about rhythm and music games is people love to play it. It's great on TikTok, like that's where we blew up, but it's a harder thing to stream, right? And so that experience, you can just click a button and good to go.
Yeah, streamer safe mode, easy right from the beginning.
How much will that change the music?
So essentially it will remove some of the songs, but like for example, Maniac being in Hemlock's level, we have our own internal track that we've built for that level, so you can play through the whole level to Authority, I believe is the name of the song, which honestly is a really cool song too.
I bet, yeah.
So that's basically it, is we just make sure anything that's in a story level, there's a replacement track for it, and then in Infinite Disco, where you can play whatever you want, those songs just aren't available, and then you can always go in and turn off streamer safe mode if you want to play on your own and play those songs.
Yeah. And then flip side of it, we do license music as well, right? So you can have that kind of more traditional Guitar Hero, Dance Central type of experience where you can go in, you can pick your favorite song, and you can compete on leaderboards or time trials or like challenges too. We make a bunch of custom challenges for each of the songs to kind of obviously challenge players to, do different things.
Yeah. There's been a beat 'em up renaissance, we like to say around here, in the last like 5 or 6 years. What was kind of the origin of Dead as Disco? Like, what was the idea to combine a beat 'em up and a rhythm game? Like, when did this exactly start and happen?
Yeah.
What was the moment?
No, there's like a whole origin story to it and everything.
We want it. We want that.
I would say our CEO, Will Cook, got together with some of the other folks at the company, the early founders, and we're just sort of thinking about ideas. What can make a really cool game? And what really resonated was like truly those awesome movie scenes where stuff is synced to the music. Baby Driver was a big inspiration for us.
Yes.
And so we looked at Baby Driver, and it was like this initial pitch of like, Bruce Lee brawling to the beat on TikTok. What if you had John Wick meets Baby Driver, right? That sort of like music video. And then it was instantly like, okay, well, we got to do something that's tied to the music in this awesome way. And this style of combat just lent itself to, you press the button and the character decides what they're going to do and what's cool. We could sync that to music so like cleanly and elegantly. We put together a prototype of it. It's super fun, and then we built from there.
Yeah.
So
the free flow combat systems have a natural rhythm to it. Like everything kind of happens on that tempo and beat.
When I first played Batman, it was like, this is like a rhythm. I'm just gotta follow this rhythm. Yeah.
And we said like, why is nobody doing this? This is an amazing experience, right?
Yes.
Like we're inspired by like these games.
Yeah, like Sifu.
No one's done it. Like we
Sifu,
want this.
you gotta
Like
be
that's
on
what
that.
we are as a studio. We make games that people feel compelled to share, right? We make games that bring joy and smiles. And that's what we want to do, and we had that secret sauce with this game.
Yeah. When I was playing this game at Gamescom and then just here at the studio, grinning. Just smile on my face. It really is one of those just, you cannot stop playing this game. It is so addicting. Just like, like trying to get the high score, trying to finish a level and trying to get the high score, but just like to feel the rhythm and everything. It's just like so rewarding. It feels so good landing those hits on the beat. Like you were saying, like how is no one doing this?
Yeah.
How is no one doing this?
I
It's so
love
good.
hearing that because it when you talk about what we wanted to build from the beginning, we talk about the lizard brain, right? Like hitting the lizard brain, right?
Hit that dopamine.
We're not out there we're trying to build like the most cerebral experience ever, and those are cool things. But like our goal was just like fun, right?
It's
Like
so
you
fun.
play it and just moment to moment, fun, and it's my favorite game that I've ever worked on. Honest to goodness.
So awesome. It just feels good immediately too. That's so hard.
You
for
can
me to
tell they're
feel like, where
passionate.
It's just like from moment one, the immediate 1 second, you're like, yep, this is fun. This is so fun. You mentioned the demo is out now.
Yep.
On Steam. You can download that demo for Dead as Disco. You can jump in and just play if you're getting hyped on watching this. And then can you just tell us about kind of the early access release date and what to expect from that?
Yeah, so right now we're going to be releasing in May. People say, when in May? And I go, as soon as I can. But the reality is, we're still putting the final touches on it. We're going to be playtesting the heck out of the game in April. So get into the demo. There's a little button that says join our playtest, sign up. We're going to try and get as many people in as we can. And when we get a great signal, that's when we go. But we're definitely putting it out in May.
Awesome, guys. Is there anything else you want to say about Dead as Disco?
We appreciate everyone that's played the demo. We appreciate anyone that's gonna play the demo. We just love this game, and so please give us a shot. Check it out.
Yeah.
'Cause I think you'll have a really good time. We made it to have fun.
Yeah, we made it to have fun, and we made it to share, right? And so we want to see what people do with it. We actually didn't even talk about all the modding and everything else that went in.
Tell us about it.
In a flash, right?
Yeah.
So not only can you bring in your own music with my music, and you can get it in there real quick and just be like, I know the tempo. You can mod it out, right? You can fully adjust how the music works if you get into it. But also, we're going to be unlocking slowly over early access all of the tools that we use to build the level. Our dream is players will be able to take our tool set and make their own music matched video, right? James and I were talking before. The mod community is already huge on it. Somebody went and modded Shrek into the game with Shrek's level.
Always the first mod.
Was busting face to Smash Mouth, right? And it got 5 million views. 5 million views on TikTok, right? It's just bonkers, right? And so we're building out all of that experience. We're giving people tons of levels to choose from. We're doing some Rockstar Faction stuff. We're going to integrate mods. We're going to continue to enhance our tools, but it's going to be really exciting just to see what people make.
Oh my gosh, because I feel like the community is always like, they do things you don't even dream of. It's like, they did what?
Yeah.
They did what with the game?
I mean, that's really the secret sauce with this game. Like, I kid you not, 300 million TikTok hashtag views or something like that, and it's not our channel. It's you guys, right? And it's super exciting and it's super invigorating and it just makes us want to build more.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I can just speak to my enthusiasm playing it, and then being at Gamescom, just your guys' booth, I just will never forget, like, everyone just couldn't get enough. Like, I remember people coming back multiple times. I feel like you might have been there. You're like, yeah, this guy's come back like 4 times here.
We had that exact conversation,
like,
exactly.
Yes, I remember
we had a parent that just parked. The kid was so into it. I was basically babysitting the kid for a few hours.
We will not name
That's
news
hilarious.
outlets, but we had a number of people that just came by and they're like, "Hey, you want to talk about the game?" Nope, played it.
Yeah,
like, what do you hear? I played it. I want to fight Hemlock, and they sat there for 45 minutes, and we're like, "Cool, you have any questions?" Nope. Rolled off. They're like, I did my thing. I'm super happy. I'm super fun, and we love it.
I love this. If you want to check out the extended cut, consider checking out EasyAllies.com or YouTube.com/EasyAllies, where you can see more of this interview. Thank you so much for joining us. That is Dead as Disco.
I gotta watch that.
Launching in early access in May. But if you want to get a taste right now, download that Steam demo. Give it a go. You will be addicted. Thanks so much. Love and respect.
Hell yeah.
Hi, I'm Jared.
Hi, I'm Rado.
And this is Valor Mortis, our
Nice.
first-person Souls-like set in an alternate supernatural history.
So they do
of
call it a
Napoleonic
Souls-like.
Wars.
They
We
themselves
revealed
called it
Valor
a
Mortis
Souls-like.
last year at Gamescom, and the reception has been incredible. You love the unique time period and blending history with supernatural corruption. But there was also some doubt about whether a Souls-like could work in first person. That's why we immediately had an open pre-alpha playtest way before the game was launching. We knew that it would be a challenge to get this unique gameplay combination right, and we wanted player feedback as soon as possible. Luckily, over 200,000 of you signed up, and a huge number of you played and gave us awesome feedback. But along with those playtest results, Rado and One More Level have been making first-person action games for a very long time now.
At One More Level, Ghost Runner was a defining project for us. It was all about first-person parkour, melee combat, and this very intense sense of speed and flow. We also built a lot of gameplay around movement-based challenges and what we like to call speed puzzles, where the player had to combine precision, timing, and momentum. With Valor Mortis, we see this as our next big step forward. It's a more methodical and grounded experience, closer to the Souls-like genre, but it still carries part of Ghost Runner's DNA. You can still feel our heritage in the fluid first-person movement, in the responsiveness of the character, and in the light parkour elements that enrich exploration and combat. So, in many ways, Valor Mortis is a natural evolution for the studio, a new direction, but built on everything we've learned before.
After the playtest, we released a new gameplay trailer that showed a different side of the game. The tutorial level takes place on a war-torn battlefield, but after that, our protagonist William finds an infected village. Corrupted by the mysterious substance that Napoleon is using in his conquests, this humble village has taken a dark turn. Inspired by horror games like Resident Evil 4, we see the wider impact of the war on regular people. But since then, we haven't really shown anything new, not until today.
Over the past few months, the team has been putting the final touches on our alpha version. The game is now content complete, which means the core content is already in place, and our focus has shifted toward polishing, balancing, and refining the overall experience. Right now, it's all about improving quality across the board, making combat feel better, tuning progression, refining pacing, and making sure all the systems work together in a satisfying and cohesive way. This stage is less about adding major new things and more about making sure the game reaches the level of quality we want.
Nice.
In today's Triple I showcase, we wanted to show you a whole range of mechanics that we hadn't shown before.
Because William can control Neftoglobin, he's able to use its presence in the world to his advantage. He can now open new paths, create cover, raise launch poles, or form walls that allow him to wall run. So this side of his power set is much more focused on movement, traversal, and interacting with the environment. That makes it different from some of the abilities we showed before, like
they didn't show any of that before.
Deadly fire from his hand, which was directly tied to basically dealing damage. These powers are more about mobility, player expression, and shaping the space around you in meaningful ways.
How will these movement and platforming mechanics contribute to the more traditional, slower combat gameplay?
First and foremost, these powers are meant to enrich and diversify the gameplay. We are not moving away from the Souls-like identity of the game, but we are expanding it in our own way by adding an extra layer of dynamism that fits very well with our first-person perspective and our experience from previous titles. They also help us improve the pacing. The player still gets that deliberate, tense combat experience, but now it is complemented by more expressive traversal and environmental interaction. It gives the gameplay more variety and makes the overall experience feel more fluid and distinct.
We even saw this in the playtest, where speedrunners like Pengu were able to finish the entire level in just a few minutes. Many of them had experienced speedrunning Ghost Runner, and were looking for any sort of platforming tech that they could find. In the full game, when there are more movement mechanics and platforming options, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to express yourself. And even if you're not a speedrunner, I think it's universally cool to use high-flying superpowers and then whack a zombie with a sword, or landing a headshot while you're midair.
On the fantasy side, these powers show that William is not just another soldier in the world of Valor Mortis. He's someone special, someone exceptional. His ability to harness Neftoglobin makes him a potentially crucial piece in the larger political conflict between Napoleon and the Resistance. So the powers are not just a gameplay tool, they are also central to who he is in the world and why he matters.
With all of One More Level's experience making first-person action games, what are the biggest takeaways that you've learned?
One of the most important things we learned from Ghost Runner is how important flow and fluidity are in first-person movement. In Ghost Runner, the player was extremely fast and aggressive, and in Valor Mortis, that movement is more restrained and grounded, but we still want the player to feel like they are controlling a very agile and highly capable character. The first-person movement creates a unique sense of immersion. Every jump, landing, attack, dodge, or a sudden change of direction feels more immediate and physical. It connects to the player, to the character in a very direct way. That sense of embodiment is something we find incredibly powerful. We also learned that movement in first person is not just about speed. It is about readability, rhythm, and confidence. The player needs to feel in control all the times. So even though Valor Mortis is slower and more methodical than Ghost Runner, the movement still has to feel responsive, very satisfying, and deeply engaging.
Along with the movement and platforming, this trailer shows a lot of other new things, but we're gonna save those for another devlog. For now, I wanna talk about the new weapon, the Rapier.
The Rapier is primarily a piercing weapon built around speed, precision, and finesse. It favors quick attacks, dynamic lunges, and fast repositioning. It is especially effective when it comes to attacking weak points and dealing critical damage, thanks to that. Compared to the Saber, it is much more demanding weapon. It does not allow for sustained blocking. So instead of relying on defense in a traditional way, the player has to master timing and use parries effectively. That makes it a high-skill weapon, but in the hands of skilled player, it can be even deadlier than the Saber, especially in one-on-one duels.
And speaking of
Loadout
weapons,
and
how
builds.
will loadouts and builds allow for different playstyles?
Even though players share the same core set of weapons and abilities, there is still a lot of room for very different playstyles. I like to compare it to cooking. Two chefs can use the same ingredients and still create completely different dishes. That is exactly the kind of flexibility we want from our build system. Some builds are simple and effective, focus on making the player stronger in a very direct way. Others are more complex and reward planning, precision, and mastery. So you can build around survivability, around speed and aggression, or around
And
specific synergies between different systems.
It
The
reminds
key
me
is
of,
customizability. Even if two players use the same
BioShock.
weapon, they may focus on completely different strengths of that weapon. Because of that, the game allows for a lot of interesting combinations and very personal ways to play.
To wrap things up, I gotta ask, what is the team working on next?
Next, the team will be focused on the final steps needed to bring the game to players in 2026 in the best possible quality. That means continued polishing, further optimization, and balancing to make sure the experience feels smooth, satisfying, and consistent from very beginning to the very end of the game. At the same time, we are also continuing our work on the console versions, including Xbox and PS5. So our focus now is really on quality across the board,
At UE5.
making sure Valor Mortis is technically solid, well balanced, and ready to meet players' expectations on every platform. Thank you.
Valor Mortis is a true passion project for all of us. It brings a unique gameplay formula to a part of history that we rarely see in video games. Everyone is working really hard to get ready for launch
Yeah, it is
later
UE5.
this year, but there's still a lot of the game that we haven't shown yet. We've also got a Discord server where we're going to share more opportunities to play the game early, and we even reveal little bits of behind-the-scenes content every single week. It's honestly just really cool to be a part of something like the III Initiative. From the entire team at One More Level and all of us at Lyrical Games, we'll see you in the next Valor Mortis video.
Again, very cool. Like, even though they themselves call themselves like a Souls-like, they have differentiated themselves in big ways that I think is good.
Manager, thank you all for the incredible reception to Cairn. We're so glad to
Hell
finally
yeah.
be able to share the Summit of Kami with you, and to share the sneak peek for our upcoming free DLC, On the Trail, coming this summer. As you might know, the entirety of Mount Kami was made by hand. So today, let's talk to some of the level designers that literally moved mountains to build the routes that thrilled you and tested your determination.
Hi, I'm Steven. I'm lead level designer on
Whoa.
I'm Celine, level designer and artist on CAM.
How do you approach making a blank wall in a way that makes players want to climb it?
Du coup, la plus grosse inspiration pour Cairn, c'est clairement le fait que dans l'équipe LD, on est des grimpeurs. Donc on connaît la grimpe, on connaît le mur, on connaît la roche. Et on va tirer toutes ces expériences de grimpe qu'on a vécues pour la retransmettre dans nos LD.
Souvent, ce sera un concept fait par Mathieu Bablet, du coup, le directeur artistique du jeu, qui va nous donner déjà quelque chose de cool. Ça va être une cascade, ça va être un grand pic en dévers, ça va être une roche en forme de vague, quelque chose de vraiment impressionnant qui déjà va donner envie. quelque chose qui visuellement donne envie d'atteindre le haut.
En fait, c'est très simple. On met en place de grandes lignes de force qui vont amener le joueur à regarder son chemin et à se diriger sur son chemin.
Grab that
So something
dandelion.
players can climb
Grab that garlic.
anywhere in Cairn. How do you make that happen? How do you allow for that level of freedom?
Le nombre de voies sur Kami est juste immense. Par zone, on est à peu près à une vingtaine de voies. Si on multiplie le nombre de zones qu'il y a, ça fait 20 fois 30. Le chiffre devient exponentiel, qui en plus ont été faits par différentes personnes, donc des approches différentes, et qui donnent quelque chose de... avec une
God, the music is just taking me back.
et ça donne des choses où les joueurs vont pouvoir choisir quel genre de grimpe ils veulent faire pour atteindre les sommets.
When you're designing these walls, how do you know that they're actually going to be fun?
On n'est jamais sûr si ça va être fun avant de l'avoir testé. Donc la clé, c'est vraiment ça, de jouer toutes les voies, comme Céline l'a dit, quoi. On va tester à manette en main, et à la fois, on se réfère aux voies qu'on a grimpées précédemment, mais aussi aux voies qu'on a grimpées dans la vraie vie. On a toujours des petits souvenirs d'une certaine voie un peu difficile qui nous a donné du mal, et on a fini à réussir à la passer dans la vraie vie. Et si on retrouve ce genre de sensation dans le jeu, là on sait que c'est gagné.
Je crois que c'est au moment de tester les voies, quand je commence à avoir un petit peu les mains moites, que j'ai le cœur qui se met à battre fort, quand je ressens moi-même des émotions pendant que je crée ma voix, je pense que je perçois qu'est-ce qui va être fun et qu'est-ce qui va faire que à la fin de la voix, à la fin de l'épreuve, je vais ressentir de la fierté d'avoir accompli cette épreuve.
The discoveries are a huge part of exploring Kami. Is that something we're still going to have in On the Trail?
Oui, bien sûr. L'exploration, c'est une part super importante dans Cairn. C'est quelque chose qui rythme le jeu, qui rythme la progression, qui s'est très bien construit autour de la grimpe. Là aussi, on veut que ce soit présent dans ces nouvelles maps, ces moments de grimpe intense qui vont se terminer par une découverte. Je vais un peu prêcher pour ma paroisse, mais pour les aficionados de grimpe, trouver une voie et réussir à l'atteindre, c'est une récompense en soi, c'est quelque chose
What about the story?
on a besoin de rien d'autre.
So what do you think players are going to take away from climbing on the new Deepwater maps?
Pour nous, ça nous fait un gros écho à ce qu'on fait à l'extérieur. Ça s'appelle le psychobloc, où les grimpeurs grimpent sur de la roche et quand ils échouent, il n'y a pas de corde pour les retenir, ils tombent directement dans l'eau.
On regardait des vidéos de Chris Sharma qui grimpait à Majorque et c'était une grande inspiration. Ça, c'est vraiment quelque chose qu'on a beaucoup apprécié. Également, c'est peut-être aussi une porte d'entrée pour les joueurs qui n'oseraient pas encore faire le mode free solo sur Kali.
Our team has been hard at work on the Trail, giving you new areas that are going to challenge you in fresh ways and give you the thrill of discovering forgotten places and letting you live out your Deepwater solo fantasy.
Le fait de travailler sur
What
les
about the
DLC,
story?
ça nous a montré qu'on pouvait avoir encore beaucoup de travail à faire sur le LD et beaucoup de possibilités qu'on pouvait explorer.
Ça donne envie de continuer à faire des murs pendant longtemps.
Ah, they don't say nothing. I'm so curious if this is going to be like an actual story thing.